Hello, my little dragonettes. How are we today? I'm back for another end of book ramble, and it's When the Mob Ran Vegas. This is gonna be another short ramble, mostly because it I I have started recently reading nonfiction, and I'm very picky about nonfiction. I There's a lot of subjects that I'm like meh about, but then you have things like okay, personally, I'm not a I'm Las Vegas is just meh. If I never go to Las Vegas, it's not going to be a big loss for me. It's not really not on my bucket list, and even if it was like it'll be on the bottom. The Mafia, the only reason I even picked this up is mostly just because of the word mafia, and I am always interested in kind of true crime stuff and all of that. Now, I will say this is not written by a professional at all. This was written by a guy who has a lot of stories to tell, and you can tell in the way it's written how things are lined up. It is in about as best of chronological order as you can get, as in like it starts I think in it starts generally in the 50s and ends up roughly 80s. And but there will be jumping around because things overlap. A lot of things happen in 20 years, 30 years, and a lot of people will bounce. If you'll have one person who shows up in like three different chapters, even though those three different chapters have like 3 or 4 chapters in between them. So they're written more like it's written less as a chronological bullet points of events and more of a grandfather telling stories at a dinner table, or it, yeah, basically a grandfather telling stories at a dinner table. Um, I think probably the most interesting one for me was the chapter on Frank Sinatra's Cal Nevada Lodge. Only just because it's just interesting to learn the underside of like famous people. Like, you know Frank Sinatra is this big crooner. He's this famous musician, and that fame has gotten to his head. And he had mafia ties. I found that I kind of knew that going in, but it was interesting to read. Um, there's one chapter here called Two Dumb Tonys, and that was an interesting read. I liked also there's photos peppered in. Uh, I, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to say anything because it is a nonfiction book, and it's historical. So again, this one's not a keeper. I will be putting it up on eBay. But if you are, if you like history, if you like not Las Vegas, and if you like the mafia, it's an interesting read. Like I said, don't go in expecting a professional writer. This is just an old man. Well, not even old. I don't even think he's old. Oh, he might be. He's just an old man who really has a lot of stories. Really loves Las Vegas, and if you go in with that expectation, if you go in thinking, oh, I'm just here for grandfather telling stories, and you read each chapter as its own standalone dinner table tale, then it's fine. don't don't expect like any linear. I mean, it is linear, as I said. It starts in the 50s, ends in roughly the 80s. But he does I found it interesting. It's just, people being people. Mafia being the mafia. Yeah. So, I think I gave this one like 3 stars. I don't know. Hold on. Let me pull up my review. I'm not gonna read it off, but I will. I think I gave it a yes. I gave it 4.75 stars. Again, the only reason it's not a full 5 is just because it's not a professional writer, and I really do not give out 5 stars unless the book blew me away. One of the ones coming up, I think, is a 5-star book. That yeah, I unfortunately have not been writing down my thoughts, the journal, the little notebook that I sometimes use, mostly because I've not really had a lot like one thing that says yeah it was good. It's not really worth it for me. So yeah, again, I will put this up on eBay. I will actually post the link to it if you guys want it. If not, well, there's always my another book. Anyways, I will see you in the next book. Enjoy it. Enjoy your reading. And have a good afternoon. Bye.